In today's video, I want to have an in-depth discussion about New Zealand farm work jobs and the reality of trying to get visa sponsorship as a farm worker. Many people come to New Zealand hoping to find farm work that will sponsor their visa so they can live here long-term. And while it's true that doing farm work can open up visa pathways, it's important to understand that you generally can't just get a farm job and automatically qualify for sponsorship. There's a lot more to it than that. So in this video, I will thoroughly explain how farm work fits into different visa categories in New Zealand. I'll explain each visa type's requirements, benefits, and limitations if you want to work on a farm here. My goal is to provide clarity so you can understand your realistic options. Let's dive in. Seasonal work visa first. Let's discuss the seasonal work visa, which is an option that sometimes involves short-term farm jobs. This visa lets you work in New Zealand for up to 7 months per season in horticulture or viticulture jobs. Some large seasonal fruit picking operations and vineyards will hire workers on this visa during their peak harvest periods when additional labor is needed. But it's important to understand that the seasonal work visa is a temporary visa. It's meant for seasonal work only, for a limited time period. It does not provide a direct pathway to residency. Most individual farmers are not able to directly sponsor you for a seasonal work visa. You'll need to apply through large certified employers who do seasonal harvest jobs at scale. Some examples would be large apple orchards, kiwi fruit operations, or massive grape vineyards. Additionally, you generally cannot apply for this visa on your own. You first need a job offer from an approved employer who can sponsor you. They will provide documentation that you include in your visa application to Immigration New Zealand. The application process typically takes 1-2 months, so you need to time it before the upcoming harvest season begins. Coordinating details and paperwork with your employer is crucial throughout the application process. Once approved, the seasonal work visa allows you full-time work rights for the specific season you are sponsored for, up to a maximum of 7 months. You can only work for the one employer listed on your visa during this time. The available jobs are mainly manual labor roles associated with seasonal farming activities, such as fruit picking, packing and sorting produce, pruning vines or trees, harvesting vegetables, operating farm equipment, general labor on farms and orchards. These jobs require physical fitness, the ability to work outdoors, and a willingness to take on repetitive tasks. Experience is often not needed, just a good attitude and strong work ethic. Keep in mind that you cannot extend the seasonal work visa within the same season. It is valid for up to 7 months maximum per sponsoring employer. Once your seasonal farm work is complete, the visa cannot be renewed. You would need to depart New Zealand and apply for a new visa for the next season. This demonstrates the temporary nature of the seasonal work visa. After finishing seasonal farm work, you can legally stay in New Zealand and do other types of temporary work like hospitality, sales, retail, or admin roles until your visa expires. However, you cannot work for a different farm, orchard, or vineyard operation. Only the original sponsor employer. An alternative after seasonal farm work is to apply for a working holiday visa, which would provide more flexibility to work in multiple industries. But this would require exiting New Zealand and re-entering on the new temporary visa. Now for the critical thing to understand. The seasonal work visa does not provide a direct pathway to permanent residency or long-term sponsorship on its own. It is considered a temporary visa by Immigration New Zealand. There are other visa pathways you can pursue from outside New Zealand that do offer residency, such as the Skilled Migrant Category or residency from work schemes. But seasonal farm labor alone will not make you eligible for these longer-term residency visas under the current immigration rules. The purpose of the seasonal work visa is filling short-term labor shortages, not as a stepping stone for most migrants to stay in New Zealand permanently. It does not lead directly to residency. So in summary, the seasonal work visa is an option for temporary farm jobs in New Zealand for up to 7 months. It's aimed at meeting peak seasonal labor needs on farms and orchards. You'll need sponsorship from an approved employer before applying. While a great cultural experience, the seasonal visa alone does not provide long-term residency rights. But it can be worth considering if you want short-term farm work to fund your travels in New Zealand. Just be clear that it is a temporary visa only. Okay, let's move on to the next farm job visa option. Skilled Migrant Category visa. This brings us to the main type of work visa that does provide a pathway to permanent residency, the Skilled Migrant Category. This visa is for skilled professionals whose occupations are on New Zealand's skills shortage lists, and a small subset of specialized farm management and consulting roles actually are on the current skills shortage lists. For example, the following agricultural jobs are currently classified as skilled and in shortage: dairy cattle farm manager, livestock farm manager, mixed livestock farm manager, beef cattle farm manager, deer farm manager. There are also related skilled roles like agricultural consultant that can qualify for residency pathways under this visa. So in essence, if you have the right qualifications, experience, and a job offer in certain shortage farm management occupations, it is possible to get a skilled migrant visa. This would allow you to immigrate to New Zealand permanently and eventually apply for residency after 2 years of working full-time in your skilled job. But there are strict requirements to meet. You'll need relevant qualifications like a bachelor's degree or postgraduate diploma in agriculture, agribusiness, farm management, or related fields. You must have proven work experience managing a significant farm operation and teams of employees. General farm labor roles don't qualify. The job offer needs to be for at least 30 hours per week on an ongoing, permanent basis, not seasonal or temporary. Your employment offer needs to be supported by documentation from your New Zealand employer, explaining why you are needed for the shortage role. You'll need to meet a minimum point threshold based on your qualifications, experience, age, skill level, and other factors assessed by Immigration NZ. Additionally, your employer will need to become an Immigration NZ accredited employer to sponsor you for this visa type. So you'll have to find job openings with farms or agricultural companies in NZ that have already done this certification process. If you meet all of the requirements above, the Skilled Migrant Category visa provides a solid pathway to gaining residency status in New Zealand after working full-time for 2 years in your skilled farm management profession. But if you don't have the right mix of advanced qualifications and extensive management expertise, unfortunately, general farm labor roles will not qualify you for this visa. It really is intended for shortage occupations, not entry-level work. To sum up, the Skilled Migrant Category visa is the main option that can lead directly to residency for limited types of senior, specialized farm management and consulting roles only, not standard farmhands. It has more stringent eligibility criteria compared to temporary visas, but does provide long-term work and residency rights. The reality of farm work visas in New Zealand. Now that we've covered the details of multiple visa types, I want to provide a realistic summary of farm work visas in New Zealand to manage expectations. The reality is that most basic farm laborer roles, like fruit picking, dairy farming, poultry, sheep shearing, and general farmhand work, do not directly lead to permanent residency or long-term visa sponsorship. You can gain valuable experience on temporary visas like working holidays or seasonal work visa, but those will only permit you to stay in NZ temporarily for up to 24 months maximum. They don't provide direct pathways to residency status. The only farm positions that reliably lead to residency require higher-level qualifications and management experience matching New Zealand's skills shortage lists. These are generally senior roles like specialized farm managers, consultants, and advisors. It is unlikely that the average farm owner will be able to sponsor general farmhands for residency, even if you've worked for them for many months or years. That is unfortunately not realistic under the current immigration system. I know some travelers arrive with misconceptions thinking they can easily get permanent residency as a farm worker, but the reality is it takes advanced skills, qualifications, or alternative visa pathways in most cases. That said, I would still encourage those interested in farm work to come experience life in New Zealand on working holiday or seasonal visas. They provide awesome opportunities to live here temporarily and fund your travels through farm labor. Just be sure to manage your expectations around long-term residency. Be open to gaining transferable skills you can apply to other industries as well. With the right preparation, attitude, and effort, you can have an amazing adventure doing farm work in Aotearoa. The key is understanding the realistic visa options based on your background and goals early on. Conclusion. Well, that covers the essential details you need to know about pathways to residency through farm work in New Zealand. I hope this video has provided clarity and managed any misleading expectations. The key points to remember are, most farm jobs lead to temporary visas only, like working holidays or seasonal work. These allow you to live in NZ for up to 24 months maximum. The main pathway to residency is through the Skilled Migrant Category visa, but you'll need qualifications and experience for shortage occupations like specialized farm management or consulting roles. There are alternative options for gaining residency as well, like post-study work visas, investments, or partnerships. Consider all your options. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions. I know New Zealand's immigration system can be complex, so I'm always happy to help explain the realistic pathways based on your specific background and goals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll dive into the costs of